What's up, everyone? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind the bar reviews for One Piece. One Piece chapter 954. Now, you guys may have noticed, my glass is empty. Why? Why is my glass empty? Well, I thought, just so everyone can firmly see it, I'm going to take something from the top shelf, and I'm going to drink it by the end of this review. You know why? Because, now the top shelf being like a $35, $40 bottle, guys. I don't own $200 bottles of liquor. But that being said, the reason, because there's so much in this chapter that it would be a sin to simply have just a regular lager beer or something here from the middle or bottom shelf. No. This chapter had so many things, some things that I called, so we'll get into that, but just some things that we're going to grab. We're going to grab something from the top shelf. Eeny, meeny, miny. This stuff looks good. Some good old Crown Royal whiskey. Or rye, I suppose it would be. There we go. Alright. Now, you guys might think this blasphemous, but this is not exactly 12-year-old stuff. As I said, that's like a $35, $40 bottle. So, I will be mixing it. I will be mixing it with Canada Dry, the only type of ginger ale exists. As well, at least as far as I'm concerned. I've had Schweppes. I've had, what's that one? Sussex and all that other crap. And, yeah, no. Not for this cat. Not for this cat. So, that being said, alright. Let's mull over this. Let's mull over this chapter for a minute. Because, okay, cover page, beige, thriller bark, whatever, right? Red Sea, reverie's going on, and they're finding it difficult to cross the Red Sea undetected. Fine dandy. Okay, let's jump in where I freaking called it, ladies and gentlemen. Swordstyle Odin. Probably where, if you guys recall, I did bring up the fact that the Orochi doesn't seem to be like some high-class swordsman. It might be proven that he actually was at one time, but this whole Swordstyle, did this, did that. I posed the theory that the school children are being brainwashed into believing that Orochi is this Swordstyle swordsman who's the strongest sort of idea. They're taking the legends and tales of Odin and putting Orochi's name on them. I brought that up quite a few reviews ago, and I even said, I believe in the last review, that this might not be Odin's sword, or it might be his secondary sword. He might be a dual-wielding swordsman. Who knows? A samurai. Who knows? This chapter, first page, automatically, I'm proven right. I'm proven right. There are two swords, in fact. I was proven wrong that this was actually, it wasn't like a treasured heirloom like Shusui that Odin did not use. No, he actually did physically use that sword. So I have 1 point right, 1 point wrong, but I'll take it. I'll take the W with the L. It's fine. Right here, it said, okay, there's two swords to Odin, the dual wielder. And Momo got one, Hiyori got the other. The one that, the thing is that we're jumping a little bit here, but they're said that they were made by well-known smiths. Of course, they're the swords of Odin. They have names and all this stuff. So they're definitely Mado-grade swords, of course. And it's Odin. Of course they are. But they're not actually explicitly said to be Saji no Wazumono grade swords. They're not said to be one of the 12 supreme grade. They're not even said to be the grade below that. What's that grade called? Anyways, suffice to say, potentially, I would find it very weird. I mean, maybe I shouldn't, but I guess I would find it a little like overpowered that Odin would have two of the 12 supreme grade swords in his possession. I suppose it would make sense. But, given the names of these swords, for one thing, Enma, one of the only sword to have Kaido. Now, if he was a dual wielder, then why wouldn't he have used both swords, like do some crazy attack? It looks like a cross-shaped thing. Hiyori states it's the only sword to ever have cut Kaido, but by the looks of the scar on Kaido's body, correct me if I'm wrong, but the scar looks like somebody did a fring and, did a Kenshin Himura on his cheek sort of idea, except on Kaido's damn body. That's kind of the way it looks like to me. So, I would say that both of these swords cut Kaido. Just a thought. Of course, he could have just won two, but that's just me. That's just me, because Enma might be a fantastic sword. we see an image of them, and they look pretty badass. They look very, very elegant. But the Ame no Habaruki, I'm bad at pronunciation, guys. For those of you who don't know, that was one of the swords. Remember that I keep toting that the Kusanagi blade clearly has to appear in Wano, because we have the Yamato no Orochi. The Kusanagi blade is one of the 3 imperial regalias in actual Japan. It is the sword of Japan in all of Japan's reality, like in our world, their history. That's the sword. That's got to be in this, right? But we have Enma, and the second sword, and I looked at it and I was like, that's not the Yama no Tsurugi. That's something else, which was renamed to the Kusanagi blade later on. Kusanagi no Tsurugi. It was the Ame no wa something. I'm very bad with remembering the Japanese spellings and how to pronounce them, guys. But here we have this one. And this sword, the Ame no Haba something, is the sword of Susanoo. Susanoo being the, no guys, get away from your Naruto knowledge because that's irrelevant here. Susanoo being one of the 3 gods, one of the 3 kami of Japan. You know, just directly under Izanagi and Izamami, or Izami, one of those. This sword is one of the swords of Susanoo himself. So we've got 2 swords, one from Susanoo, deity who killed the Yamato no Orochi. So that's really relevant. So I think that Momo is going to have a time to shine. He's going to slay him with that sword. He's going to slay Orochi with that sword, and then the Kusanagi blade will appear or something like that. And then you have Enma, named after literally the kami of the underworld, King Enma. These swords, both of them sound like they could be 12 supreme grade swords. Do they not? Do they not to you guys? Because they do to me. They sound completely plausible. It just seems kind of OP. But then again, Odin, of course, was a fantastical figure. If anybody else, he's probably up there as one of the greatest swordsmen in the One Piece world that we currently know of. So, is it that much of a stretch? Maybe not. We still don't know where all of the swords are. We don't even know their names yet. I did make a theory video about that. But I would like, and I did say that a few would be in Wano. I said probably 1 would be in Odin's possession. But 2 seems a little overpowered. But that being said, clearly Odin died. I still hold out hope that Odin is alive, guys. But it's got the gears flying, guys. The gears are flowing here, even with this very nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. Rather strong, but I didn't want to dilute the flavor of the whiskey too much, right? That being said, the other part here of the chapter, there's a lot of parts to go through. Here, second part where I was right. Oh, well, we should just jump in really quick. So Zoro brings up that, Hiyori tells him the history and basically says, I'll give you that blade if you give back Shusui, explains about Shusui, and Zoro's like, yeah, okay, fine. If you can give me a replacement blade that's as good or better, fine, dandy. I'm not going to fight you on it. Kawamatsu thinks he's delusional because he said, even though Ryuma was already dead, I did fight him for it, blah, 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 but you have to let me go pay my respects to the grave. So Zoro having that bit of that samurai honor going on, you know? He's got that swordsman honor showcasing right there where he says, I need to still go pay respects to Ryuma's grave. And Kawamatsu makes it funny and says, he's delusional sort of idea, and they realize that Zoro realizes that Moria probably stole it, blah, 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 when he was on Wano, but suffice to say, now, let's jump into the next part, because can you spell Trafalgar D. Law? Trafalgar's kind of hard to spell, guys, but can you spell law? Because I believe I've been saying something similar for quite a number of reviews, quite a number of months, and I said law with a few other letters. I believe it was Hawkins. Hawkins. This works out so well. Hawkins just got his shit wrecked. Law is sitting there in a jail cell. Yeah, I know we don't know what happened. But I'm taking this win until somebody shows me otherwise. Until Oda himself says that he was handicapped or whatever, because that's all Hawkins been doing every fight he's been in. Gives up with Kizaru, gives up with Kaido, which we find out in this chapter, pulled some stupid straw demon rip off of Toriko Gourmet demons with Zoro, and Zoro had to use one name move to get rid of that. So I don't know why that's a win for Hawkins. Had they stayed, they already cut down a few of his lives with no problem, him and Luffy. Then with Law figured out his trick in their first bout, and he was like, I can figure this out really fast on you. Second bout, Hawkins is like, ha ha ha, I have hostages, what are you gonna do, ha ha ha. And now we see when they actually get to go toe to toe in a jail cell, literally Hawkins is laying on the ground in 2 pieces with his, multiple pieces. It looks like his hands are chopped off, everything's chopped off, and Law is sitting there with his cursed blade going, yeah. So, what about that alliance that you and Apu and Kid and everybody had? What's up with that, though? So, here, I want to bathe in that glory for a minute. I just want to bathe in that. Smells so good. The sweet smell of victory. So far, I was right about the Odin thing. So, I took a 1 L with that, but I took 1 W as well, and now I'm taking 2. So I'm 2 for 1 here. The ratio is good. Smells like victory in this glass. It really does. So, suffice it to say, the conversation goes as follows. Hawkins basically explains that Apu was apparently always on Kaido's side long before they made their alliance or something like that. He was already under his umbrella, as he puts it. Kid and Killer refused to bow down to Kaido. Kaido basically said, look, I don't want to fight. Join my crew. And everyone was like, well, no. Hawkins, of course, did he checked all the percentages. He had 0, 0, 0, and then he had a 40% chance if he joined the crew, he'd live. So he went that way. Kid and Killer, of course, did not. He explains the dynamic with Kid and Killer a little bit, and then it's like, okay, so that's basically what we're at here. So Law is just trying to get as much information out of Hawkins as he can, because there's things that even Law doesn't know, and he's trying to figure it out. So he's trying to figure out what's the playing field like right now. Because clearly somebody helped him here because somebody let him out. Now, some people are saying it's Drake. Some people are saying it's even Blackbeard. And the people saying it's Blackbeard are just the people that, they saw that non-canon comic thing, and everyone's like, oh, Blackbeard's on the move. No, he's not. So, it's not Blackbeard. And Blackbeard wouldn't be silent. Blackbeard would not be silent. I think this is either I think, personally, it's one of the Big Mom pirates. I know that's got no basis, but nobody has any basis. Look at the silhouette. Look at the silhouette for a minute. Drake doesn't got skinny legs and shoes like that. Drake does not. Blackbeard wouldn't remain silent and in silhouette. So, I'm just going off on a limb here and saying it's either the Denjiro, which is the one person that they know is missing, that we find out later in this chapter. That's the one person because we know where Nekamamushi is and stuff. So he's the 1 9 red sheath that's missing. So, and some people are saying that's probably Kiroshiro and stuff. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it's either Denjiro, one of the people, a new character we've never been introduced to, or it's a Big Mom pirate. That's what I'm saying. So, either way, Hawkins kind of tries to put some jabs on Law there, saying, "Oh, well, your alliance with Straw Hat seems to be going pretty well, but did you have a change of heart?" So maybe they discuss something further that we haven't heard about yet, because, what would make Hawkins say that? What would make Hawkins believe that him and Luffy are still not in a full-on alliance? Why would he say that? So clearly some information we missed between him being captured, tortured, and surrounded in a jail cell till Law getting his sword, getting his hat back, and slicing him down. So, hard to say, right? The person in silhouette lets Law out. We see 6 days left to the Fire Festival, and Law's basically like, if you're going to help me, I'm not going to say no. I'm just going to walk on, and this person remains silent through this whole thing. After that, that's when we jump over to Udon with the Luffy training and stuff. And, you know what? The timer's running a little long because, of course, this is going to be a longer review, guys. So let's just cut it here. Let's take a break. Alright, so now here in Udon, we see it's just one page, but it's Luffy training with old man Hyogoro of the Flowers, right? And he's sitting there and he's beating it into his skull. Like, Luffy's just bashing this piece of steel and stuff, and you see it beveling and bowing and all this stuff. Everyone's like, wow, what is he doing here? And Hyo just keeps telling him, remember, brute force was nothing to Kaido. Remember, you must master this form of hockey. You must master this technique. Brute force was nothing. This was nothing. Picture it in your mind. Know that what you're doing now isn't enough. It will never be enough. And he's being a Mr. Miyagi over here, and kind of like, he's being the King Kai, the Mr. Miyagi. He's doing that shit. And I'm with that. I'm like, we literally came to the Japan-inspired country of Wano in One Piece, and we have the old mentor character. Like, Rayleigh's great. Don't get me wrong. If Rayleigh was here, he'd be like, yeah, okay, listen to old man Hyo, because, you didn't listen to me. I taught you everything for a year and a half, right? Year and a half, I already taught you. If you can't learn from other people, and this kind of reminds me, once again, guys, this is going to be a bit of a longer review, but this kind of reminds me a lot of that Dragon Ball Super episode. So if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Super, spoilers. But it's when he's fighting, when Goku's trying to fight Jiren, and we have Master Roshi. Now, this was done way better in the manga. It makes a little more sense in the manga. But here in the anime, and in the manga as well, I believe it's... I'm just going off the manga version because I prefer the manga. When Goku's fighting and he realizes he can't do this, he can't do that sort of idea, and he's like, I need to get more stronger. This is where Master Roshi, remember, Master Roshi is Goku's first teacher. Goku is a character that has a lot of teachers. He's got Whis and Beerus, he's got King Kai, he's got Kami, he's got, the Supreme Kai sort of, I guess, Grand Kai sort of, but that was kind of filler. And he's got Master Roshi, right? He's had multiple teachers, right? But Master Roshi is his first mentor. So he goes to him, and he basically says, more powerful, he's just kind of like, Goku, who taught you that? It certainly wasn't me. I never taught you that. Who? Frieza? Vegeta? They taught you that? I don't remember ever teaching you something like getting bigger and bigger was the answer. Sort of like what Trunks did. Trunks thought the answer was getting bigger and bigger. Goku's not doing that, but he's kind of making the same mistake, thinking he's just got to get stronger and stronger and stronger, when there's other methods, there's other ways, there's what it means to be a true martial artist. And Master Roshi shows him that he doesn't have Ultra Instinct, but if Master Roshi trained his body just that little bit more, if he had a few more years, Master Roshi's close. He's the closest character to Ultra Instinct. He's closer than Beerus. Whis even admits it. He goes, it's not quite there yet. It's underdeveloped, but it's close. It's pretty close. So, same idea here is that Luffy has multiple mentors. Like, Shanks is what set him on his path, and then he's got Rayleigh who installed hockey and the teachings of hockey to him. Now he's got Old Man Hyo, another teacher, to also try to impart some knowledge. Luffy is being trained. Yes, he learns from the people around him, and you could even say that the enemies he's fought, like Crocodile and Katakuri and people like that, and Doflamingo, have taught him how to conserve, how to battle better. Rob Lucci, they've taught him how within battle, because Rayleigh said it himself, there's nothing like battle experience that'll teach you. On the battlefield, that's when your growth spurts will happen. That's when it becomes an exponential growth, not linear. Training can only take you so far. That's why Rayleigh was like, this is kind of enough. And I just like here that it's like, yes, that was enough at the level he was. But now Luffy has gone through Fishman Island and Punk Hazard and Dressrosa and Whole Cake Island, and now he's here at Wano. He's gone through enough battle experience again, and now he's at a level where he can learn again. He peaked, he capped out, sort of idea, when Rayleigh taught him, and now he's back where he can start learning again. He's reached another level where he's good to learn more and learn more advancements of his technique. So I really like this. I like this concept that Old Man Hyo is seeming to be that type of character for him. It's probably only for this arc, but it's good. It's a good thing that Luffy is going to have multiple teachers throughout the story, And, they always say, like, One Piece is 60% done. Yeah, One Piece has been 60% done for friggin' 10 years, guys. So, this could go on forever. But suffice to say, I just really like this. I know this is a little off topic, and it was only one page, but I feel like this needs to be brought up, because not enough people are giving enough respect to what Oda's trying to do here, I think. Or respect's the wrong word, but nobody's noticing the similarities between other manga, anime, like Dragon Ball Z, where you have a character, when you have such a long-running story, people will learn from more people. Your main protagonist isn't going to just learn from that one person for the entire series and then never need teaching again. You know, there's people can still grow. Luffy still has room to grow as a character and as a combatant, and that's what we're seeing here, and I really enjoy it. So after that, we see that we see all the regions and stuff, and they're like, okay, 5 days left. So Oda's doing that. So you guys were all worried about pacing. Everybody's worried about pacing. Oda's got a couple days down in just this one chapter, right? He's like 6 days, 5 days, you know. We're at the battle almost, you know, sort of idea, right? And we see two things here right before the big thing that I'm going to need to drink a little more to. And that is, number one, we see there are two methods to entering Wano. There's the one we knew about with the koi fish and that kind of stuff. Then there's another method where you kind of go underneath the island. There's a channel going all the way down, kind of like that thing in Pirates of the Caribbean 5, the Dead Man's Triangle or whatever they called it. And you basically go into this huge chasm. Like, it's just a huge chasm, right? You basically sail under it, and then there's this one, like, kind of a makeshift elevator thing where materials and everything can be brought up. That's how a lot of ships normally get in. But right now, that's under the control of who? Kaido and, of course, Shogun Orochi. So that's an impossibility for anybody to enter Wano in that way right now. But Oda specifically showed us that that is a method for how people enter outside of the koi fish. There are two methods. That was just told to us. I feel like Oda put this here because he needed to say it. He needs to say it for something that's going to happen, but he didn't really know where to put it because it seemed a little off topic, honestly. But he tried to make it work. He tried to make it flow. The other part was, of course, they're having their first conference. They're having their big conference on how this is all going to go down. We see, after a couple of days, we see that everyone's gotten to their regions. They have here's Udon with their their manpower, and we have Ringo region with their swords, and we have this and that, and all the preparation going on. We also see like them giving ode to Yasue, Lord Yasui, for changing the letters and changing it up. And Kinemon basically explains what that means, like the different letters, like the Viper. This means this harbor, but if you change these lines, this means this harbor. So we're going to go to that harbor instead, which is easier to get to Onigashima, where the enemy will never suspect. That's basically what it is. That's what it boils down to. Now we see that Hiyori isn't here. That makes me wonder: did she go to get Emma? Because I couldn't really tell if Zoro doesn't seem to appear to have 3 swords. So Hiyori isn't here at this conference. We see that we have, and Nekomamushi's not there either. So Nekomamushi and Marco and any remnants of the Whitebeard pirates that they gathered are not here yet, if they even gathered any. But we do have all the Red Scabbards. We have Kawamatsu and Zoro, Sanji, everybody there. Everybody basically, but nobody who was in the Udon prison. So the Udon prison is separate, so you got Chopper and Luffy and stuff there. And Frankie, of course, is building ships, but the rest of the Straw Hats pretty much are here at this conference to decide how we're going to go about this, what we're going to do, what's the plan. Zoro's there and stuff, but we don't see Hiyori. I don't see Hiyori. I see Kiku, I see Robin, I see, everybody else, but I don't see Hiyori. And Momonosuke's there. I don't see Hiyori. So I'm curious. Shutenmaru, Inarashi, they're all there. But we are missing some people. So I'm curious as to where this is going to go. Like, they're talking about, like, the 5,000 men. That's not such a pipe dream anymore. Here we go. We're going to get this done. And we also see the Tengu. We see the Tengu of the Kitetsu Blades, right? He's there in the background as well. So this is interesting. So I'm curious if we're actually going to see this. Of course, we're break next week, but are we going to actually hear what their plan is? Or is Oda just going to jump into the action and then it's going to be like, aha, but we planned for this the whole time. When you think like they're trapped, they can't get out, it's like, aha, but we planned for this. Here, they're coming. Or something like that, right? So I don't know where the direction is going to be next chapter. I have no idea because most of them are all together again. Like, we're not going on. Zoro's back with the main group along with Kawamatsu and stuff. We don't know where Hiyori is. I think she probably went to go get Emma. It's clearly hidden somewhere. Though it's surprising that Kawamatsu someone didn't go with her. So where is she? What are we really going to jump into here? We see Luffy training. There's no one really else to follow unless we're going to do a little bit of a break and jump into another Reverie chapter. Are we going to jump into a Blackbeard thing? Are we going to jump into a follow Nekomamushi and Marco? Where are they at? Did Nekomamushi finally convince Marco? I mean, there's a multitude of things, right? Are we going to see the Marine headquarters? Are we going to see the Admirals or something? There's so many other things that could happen, but it just feels like the next chapter could follow anybody in the series. Like, it feels like this is kind of like a finalization here, and we could jump over to somebody else for now. Like the next couple chapters. Do you guys get that feeling? Because I kind of do. But here, then we have the end part. So, we have this end part. And, okay, so there's these number things. We see Apu and stuff. Apu used that, so he's around, he's back. Apu used that method that Oda explained to try to weasel that into the story. He used that method. He goes up and he's like, yeah, we're here for the banquet, yo. And it's like, the numbers are back. And we see these giant damn things. Some people are mistakenly thinking those are the things in the triangle, the Devil's Triangle for in Thriller Bark and stuff. No, those things were goddamn as the size of Zunisha. These things are not them. They are not them. Just get that out of your minds, guys. They aren't them, right? There would have been a reference to that. These are called, apparently, the Numbers, another member of Kaido's crew. And they're these giant ogre-looking things. So, is the ogre race real? Is the Oni race real? Some people are saying they're ogres, some people are saying they're Onis. It kind of means the same thing, guys. Oni basically means demon or ogre in Japanese, so, and that's what they're usually depicted as, the big guys with the spiked clubs, you know, that kind of stuff. That is basically usually a depiction of an Oni. So, yeah, so we get introduced to this new section of beasts that they're going to have to deal with called the Oni. We see them silhouetted, we don't really see them, but they're giants, they're massive, and there's a bunch of that. And then I think we're going to take a quick break here because we need to talk. We need to talk about this last part because Straw Hats are fucked. Big Mom and Kaido basically made every single plan that Law, Luffy, the Minx, everyone irrelevant. Because they entered into a pirate alliance. I've seen the memes, guys. I read the comment section. Basically, from what it sounds like, Kaido and Big Mom heard about all these, well, Straw Hat and Law made an alliance, and Apu Kid and Hawkins made an alliance and stuff. And he goes, they basically got drunk and said, these young, worst generation, small-time pricks. Let's show them what a real alliance looks like. Let's show them what true power looks like. And you know what the worst, you know what the scary thing is? This is done for comedic effect here. End part of the chapter. They're laughing and hugging and drunk. So they made a drunken decision after their makeup sex. I know from, a lot of experience with my wife, makeup sex is a good thing. Makeup sex actually works. It makes everybody happier. Everyone's way more at ease. They got their anger, their frustration, their stress out, their any qualms. 90% of that just floods out along with a lot of other fluids. That is what happened here. Then they got drunk. Like, they might as well have had a cigarette. Big Mom might as well be smoking a cigarette afterwards, right? And here, they are talking, they're laughing, they're going on like, hey, listen up, you louts. Because Queen's like, how the hell are you guys laughing and going on? You were at each other's throats earlier. Yeah, the throats aren't the only thing Kaido was at. And they're hugging and stuff, and they're like, listen there, the 100 Beast Pirates, Big Mom Pirates, we're in a pirate alliance. You know why? Because we can freaking take over the whole world if we do this, and then we'll kill each other afterwards. So why kill each other now when we could literally do the two things, like, Big Mom wants to do it because Big Mom wants to be Pirate Queen. She wants to take over the world. And Kaido wants to do it because he wants to have the greatest war of all time. So, remember, this is the thing that the Marines were so goddamn scared of. Everyone's saying, oh, Whitebeard's not as strong as you think, or Shanks, or something like that. Marine HQ was terrified. The entirety of the world government was terrified at the thought of Shanks and Whitebeard meeting up because that could potentially mean an alliance. There was no alliance, but they were so worried that they would enter into an alliance. And if, as I said, I forget who said it in the manga, somebody stated, if two Yonko teamed up, that's it. That's it. They can take down anybody. Because the Yonko are the four strongest with the four strongest fleets. Four strongest crews. Taking down one Yonko took the entirety of the Marines. You had Sengoku, you had Garp, and you had the three admirals, and you had all the vice admirals, you had all the warlords that you could muster, you had everybody to take on one Yonko. And people say, oh yeah, but that was Whitebeard, that's an exception. No! No! If Shanks had come instead of Whitebeard, you don't think they would have assembled the same force. If Kaido or Big Mom had done that, you don't think Marineford would have been just as stacked. If you do, I don't know what series you've been reading for over 90 volumes, because that's just a fallacy. That's just false, because this is terrifying. They just, on a whim, entered into a pirate alliance. The thing that the world government feared would happen, that the Yonko would team up. If any two Yonko team up, that's the end game. That's end game stuff. That's Avengers Endgame. Thanos meets Galactus meets, I don't know, Doctor Doom or somebody that's, I guess Doctor Doom's kind of, well, Doctor Doom's pretty pro. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is like, damn. Right? Just damn. So, Kaido and Big Mom doing this thing. Even the island's shocked. Break next week, of course, Oda, you did that to us. It doesn't matter what they do now. Like, Katakuri might not be there because he's home defending, all of Totland. But the rest of the Big Mom crew are there and alive. They'll say, hey, yeah, can we go find my sons and my daughters and stuff because they'll be useful. Can we go find them? This new method, this new hierarchy of the 100 Beast Pirates that we never knew about, called the Numbers, show up, and they're all the size of goddamn oars. Like, what are they going to do? What are they actually going to do? They don't have anybody on their side that can fight these guys. Shanks isn't showing up. Rayleigh's not there. Garp, Mihawk, none of the ones that actually you could fathom standing a chance against a Yonko are showing up. Everyone assumed, everyone thought, okay, Luffy himself is not going to take down Kaido, right? It's going to be a huge team effort between multiple powerful people. You'll have the Red Scabbards. You'll have maybe Odin will show up at the last minute. 2 Swordstyle. You'll have Zoro. You'll have, you'll have the Monster Trio with Luffy and him. You'll have, I don't know, like just all these characters, right? And they'll all fight Kaido back far enough to push him down a waterfall or something. Whatever. He's a Devil Fruit user, so if he fell in the water, he should be immobile, I guess. It might not kill him, but whatever. Yeah. So, what are they going to do now? Nobody in this alliance, nobody in this team can take down one of them by himself. And now, like they don't have an admiral on their side. They don't have, like, Garp or Sengoku or Mihawk or Shanks or even Marco. Marco's not there. Like, what? What are they going to do? This is a game changer. Anybody who says that Wano isn't good is, like, Wano is jam-packed with everything we wanted. We saw Kaido and Big Mom clash, and now they're in a pirate alliance. The thing that we were hyped for, Shanks and Whitebeard teaming up, it happened with the other two. Now what are they going to do? This is, no wonder Oda was saying that Wano is going to be fantastic. No wonder he said that Wano is going to make Marineford look that was just the opening act because Marineford was 1 Yonko. This is 2. And we can assume from this that Shanks or Blackbeard is probably going to get involved at some point. This ain't going to be kept under wraps for any length of time. Like, they're in an alliance, the world's going to know. And then somebody's got to get involved. The Marines, one of the other Yonkos, Mihawk, the rest of the warlords, God knows who. The Rocks Pirates. That was such a fantastic chapter, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this review has gone on long enough, so I'm going to end it here. But I could just sit here and stare into the camera and just be like, what, for days. I really could. This chapter had so much stuff in it, and that last part is just making the whole community just boom, right? So I really had to think about how I was going to do this review. So that's why I didn't rush home and do it. I sat back, I reread it, thought about it, reread it again, went on the forums, heard what people were saying, went on some Discords, heard what some people were saying, just thinking about it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think, as I said, my own thoughts have been conveyed here in this review, and this is incredible. This is why One Piece is grand. I mean, he just gave us this little, they're in an alliance, like it's no big deal. And that has shocked the community. So, I mean, Oda knows what he's doing, guys. Don't ever lose faith in Oda. 90 volumes have told you, right here, featuring the 98th volume. 90 volumes should tell you by now. Oda knows what he's doing. He has known what he's doing for 20 years. He ain't faltering now. Great chapter. Next week is break. Of course, that sucks, but can't wait for the week after. So that's it for this chapter review, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification to know every time I post a video because my schedule is all over the map. That being said, this has been your Behind the Bar views for Griever here with One Piece, chapter 954. If you liked the video, once again, hit like. If you disliked the video, at least comment down below and tell me why you disliked it. That being said, guys, I mean, I did say I would finish the drink by the end of the video, but clearly it's already gone, so drink more responsibly than I do, guys, and we'll see you back here next time. Peace out.